Hello and greetings. Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai is here with a new session for you, dear friends. Alright, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Try to remember, our last two videos with you were about a short lesson, which was about voice recorder. Another video was about the mode input panel. Today, we're going to work on something else called sticky notes. What exactly are these? Sticky in English means something that sticks. It refers to something that is adhesive or sticky. We used to use them a lot in paper form in our notebooks, though now we often use the software version. They are small, yellow pieces of paper. They have glue on them. Most of the time, for example, people would write a note or something to someone. Then, we would stick the side with glue onto a computer keyboard, a folder, or anywhere it would stick, and write a note on it. Most of the people who worked in shifts, like for example, one person would work on that computer from 1 in the morning until 12. After 12, the next shift would come in. Most of the time, since they wouldn't see each other, they would leave notes for one another. They would stick the note on a computer, so when the next person came in, they would do the tasks that had been assigned to them. Now, that's the job of the sticky note, so instead of using paper and wasting it, we can just do those things with this. Instead of sticking a physical piece of paper, we can use this virtual note, put the note on the screen, and write our messages on it. When the next shift comes in and turns on the computer, they'll see the same messages we left for them right there on the screen. I use sticky notes, which is useful because it doesn't waste extra paper. Besides that, there used to be a kind of tape people would stick on the screen, but that tape would usually leave marks on the screen. Besides, it wasn't just for the screen. If you've noticed, in some offices they put them up on boards or somewhere, and work moves forward based on those. They also stick them on files. So in the end, those sticky notes make sense. As you can see, to open this, when we come to this section, we see that sticky notes are available. We can click to open it, or bring it here to create a pin, or create a pin right here. Or even easier, if we just type, for example, S, it will show us those sticky notes. When we open it, by default, sticky notes have this sticky note panel, and however many notes we've written, they're usually all saved here. The first thing we do, for example, well, in its settings, for example, we can come here and sign in. You can, for instance, have it ask for confirmation every time we delete a note. You can set it to light mode, dark mode, or just follow the Windows default. Which version is it that we're currently using? Well, that's the kind of information you'll find in its settings. Here, the first thing we do is click on the plus button. We create a note. That yellow page we mentioned, this is that same small window. You can place it anywhere you want on different parts of your computer. Then, it doesn't matter if your note is in English or, for example, in Farsi. Whoever wrote the content, you just write that same note here. After writing the note here, you can, for example, make the note bold, italicize it, underline it, or choose superscript and subscript. You can choose bullets, or even, for example, if you wrote a note for someone and you want to add a picture about a topic for them, you can do that too. Regarding a topic, you can also select a picture for it. For example, it's a picture, it's an image, and it also shows its notes coded here. Here, you have a small scroll bar so you can scroll through the text yourself and see the text. Above it, there's also a picture there if you want. Well, they don't always bring in a picture, but generally, they bring in everything else coded. If I want, I can just delete this. We mostly use notes, but you can also insert a picture if you want. We select the note and, for example, write sugar on it. By default, notes are always yellow in color. That is, usually they're yellow because they want to resemble physical sticky notes. But we know that sometimes we might not like the color. We can simply click on this part and change its color. Let's say we want a completely different color, or just pick whichever color is easier on the eyes for each person. By default, it's that same yellow color, so it matches the main sheets. In this place, we just click on it. It shows us some information. Meaning, whether we're online or offline, our computer just gives us some information, for example. Here, for instance, if we close this, it's not like we're deleting it, it's just being closed. For example, someone thinks they've read the note. Someone has written the note for you. You've read it, but you don't need to do anything with this note. You want to delete it now. But when you close it, it doesn't actually get deleted, it just gets closed. It's still available here in the public notes. When we right-click on it and select Open, or come here and choose Open for it, it will open up again. If you double-click on it, it will eventually open. So, just closing it doesn't delete it. To delete it, obviously, we have to come here and select Delete Note. Or we can right-click here and choose Delete Note. In that case, the note will be deleted. For example, when we bring up a note and click the plus button, it gets deleted. The note appears here. For example, sometimes you only need the note page and nothing else. For instance, here we have one note and we want to create another note. Whether we click this plus or that plus, when we click it, it creates another note. Wherever you place the option on the computer screen, it's up to you. What do we do with the second note here? We save it. Here, you can see it generally shows the notes. Even if you close this, the notes page is still here. We can also search the notes if we want, based on this or that, things like that. If a note has a name or something, we can search for it by its text or the first letters of the text. If we close the search section, the notes still won't be deleted. In fact, the notes are still here. If, for example, we close one of them again, we can still see that the note is there. If we want, we can click here and open it again. It shows us the note list. We click on the note list. It directly opens the list of notes for us. Sometimes, the note list just closes like this and only tells me that this is the second note. Which one was the second? Open it. It doesn't even close the second one either. The only risk here is that the person who turns on the computer might see these two topics that we left emails about for them and continue those tasks. We were working on these two projects with Fonda. We said the rest, that it's better for your work and business. You leave these two messages for them. You want this to be on the screen. Like, for example, if that person wants to go and check the list of those notes, they open the note list. I try to complete some of their tasks. They can delete these, or on the contrary, leave another note for us. For example, after the task is completed, for tomorrow morning when we come back again, there's still something left for us. But the notes that we had for Zoamando, he deletes those topics, I delete the ones he said, and the notes that are left for us remain. There, in the end, we close this as well. We won't need this anymore. We close it. If he wants to check it himself, it's possible that there are 5 or 6 other notes that were mistakenly hidden before. Because here, for example, 2 or 3 notes remain for us. Among these 3 notes, for example, one of them from before might get closed by mistake. But in reality, there are 3 notes left with you. So, just to make sure whether there are 2 notes or if there are any extras, they show up in the note list. Then, when you check here again, you realize, no, not at all. These 3 notes were left. These are the ones that we say are closed when we say open. Anything that's closed is already fine, but if you click on it again, it says close again, so it becomes closed again. So, we open this one. In the end, it's really just a way to leave a message for someone, so that any user of the computer can use it, and to avoid wasting too much paper, extra sticky notes were created for this purpose. It's just an option in Windows, nothing particularly special about it. And finally, dear friends, I ask you that if these videos have been useful to you, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow. Please remember to subscribe to the channel for more valuable content and future updates. I genuinely hope to have the pleasure of seeing each and every one of you in our upcoming, engaging, and informative sessions. Goodbye for now, and I eagerly look forward to seeing you all very, very soon.